3 true matcha horror stories animated. Story 1.
The park was supposed to be empty at this hour, except for those rusted swings creaking in the wind, and that once flickering streetlight that cast everything in sickly yellow.
Right.
But there he was, sitting on the picnic table under the pavilion, completely focused on whatever he was doing with his hands.
What are you doing?
At first, I thought he was dealing drugs. The way he kept checking over his shoulder nervously screamed illegal activity. But as I got closer, I realized he was whisking something in a small bowl. He looked up and our eyes met. Most people would have been embarrassed, caught doing weird stuff in public. Not this guy, though.
Bro, he looks high.
He beamed like he reconciled with an old friend from school. Perfect timing, he clapped. I was just about to begin the ceremony.
Ew.
Everything in my gut told me to keep walking, but he seemed harmless enough. A middle-aged weirdo sporting a cardigan that almost
No, he looks crazy.
every American dad donned to church. Ceremony? I asked, stepping closer. The matcha ceremony. It requires 2 people or it brings terrible luck. He gestured to the empty bench across from him. Please, I've been waiting so long for someone to share this with.
No.
I don't know, man. I should really get home. His smile faltered, and desperation flickered across his face. Please? You don't understand. I can't do this alone.
Go home.
The ceremony has to be shared or she won't forgive me. She?
Like, what does it have to do with me, bro? Like, go home.
Glanced around the empty park, but we were completely alone. A small cup of matcha, he pleaded. That's all I need. I didn't want to be rude. Besides, he looked...
This dude just said I didn't want to be rude. Bro, this has nothing to do with you. Just leave, bro. Just leave.
fragile and really in need of some company. I joined him.
What?
The bench was cold and damp, and the air reeked of rust, like wilted petals steeped in metal. He had all the equipment precisely laid out. There was a bamboo whisk, a black ceramic bowl, and even one of those little scoops for measuring powder. My mom taught me this, he said,
He for sure doing a ritual.
beginning to whisk again. Every morning for 23 years, we shared matcha together. It was our thing. Did she pass recently? I asked, trying to be polite. 3 months ago. His whisking never paused. Lost to cancer, but she made me promise that I won't stop the ceremony. The tradition must not die with me, Marcus, she said. Those were her last words.
Trivia.
Marcus. Now I had a name to go with the increasingly bad vibes radiating from this guy. He finished whisking and carefully divided the matcha between 2 bowls. The matcha looked too bright, almost glowing. He slid one to me. Together, he said, raising his bowl with both hands.
No.
On 3. 1, 2. I lifted the bowl as well.
It was
The
stupid.
steam carried a bitter, earthy smell that reminded me of soil after rain. 3. We both sipped at once. The moment it touched my tongue, my soul shivered. This wasn't matcha. It tasted scorched, like
Really? Like, bro, come on.
dirt scraped from a fire pit. Grit clung to my teeth while the ham and cheese burger churned in my gut.
Ew.
I spat it out, coughed, and did everything to rid myself of the bitterness coating my mouth like ash.
Oh my god.
While Marcus burst
Man, he having a great time.
into manic laughter, the sound ricocheted off the empty. His shoulders convulsed as he doubled over, still clutching his bowl, oblivious to the grit coating his tongue. I stared at him, stunned. Ugh, what the hell was that? I demanded, wiping my mouth with my sleeve.
Ugh.
Instead of answering, Marcus reached into a duffel bag I hadn't noticed before and pulled out a brass urn, the kind you see at funerals. There was a small plaque on the front that read, "Beloved Mother, Emily."
Nah, this is insane.
She wanted to remain part of the ceremony forever, Marcus said between fits of laughter. So,
Bro, he just swallowed his mother.
I made sure she could, every time I sipped matcha, just like always.
Ew.
The taste in my mouth suddenly made horrible sense. I lurched to my feet, but my legs felt weak. Did you put her ashes? What the? Are you insane? I'm devoted, Marcus shrieked,
Oh my gosh.
unscrewing the top of the urn. 23 years we did this together, dude, and now you get to be a part of it too. He tilted the urn and poured gray
Bro.
ash directly into his mouth, chewing and swallowing like it was candy. Ash spilt down his chin, coating his cardigan in chalky dust. He was making these awful choking sounds, but he kept shoving more handfuls into his mouth. I miss you, Mommy, so much, he gasped between mouthfuls. I fumbled for my phone. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely punch 911. Marcus was vomiting now, ash and spit foaming at the corners of his mouth.
Yo.
His eyes had rolled back, showing only whites. 911, what's your emergency? There's a man in Riverside Park, I whispered, backing away from the table. He's eating his mom's ashes. He's choking now. Oh, God, he's... Marcus suddenly went completely still. For a moment, I thought he was dead. Then his head snapped up, and he was staring directly at me, with ash-covered teeth bared into a sick grin. Your turn, he whispered. I ran immediately, but I could hear him behind
Oh, look at his face.
me as he chased me toward the street. The cops found him sometime later, unconscious. He'd apparently slipped while holding the urn and cracked his skull on the picnic table.
Oh my
They
gosh.
said he was in a coma, that his brain had swollen from the impact. Lost his mother recently, the officer explained. His neighbors said he'd been acting strange since the funeral. Guess grief affects people differently. I haven't been able to drink tea since that night. Even coffee tastes like ash now. And sometimes, when I'm walking home late from work, I swear I can smell that earthly sweetness in the air. Almost half expecting to see Marcus sitting at that picnic table with his whisk and his bowl and his terrible smile, trying to share his matcha tea. The ceremony requires two, after all.
That's crazy. Story 2.
Everyone at the office knew Brian as the matcha guy. In the 3 months since he joined our marketing team, I hadn't seen him eat a single real meal or even glance at a cup of coffee. Just endless
Yeah, bro.
him eat a single real meal or even glance at a cup
He's had no sleep.
of coffee. Just endless mugs of that green powder whisked right at his desk. We thought it was just another wellness kick, until Brian went full cult mode. He'd called people out mid-meeting like it was his personal mission. Matcha drinkers don't make dumb mistakes, he scoffed after I flubbed a slide in the client deck. Maybe if you detoxed once in a while, your brain start actually functioning, Daniel.
Dang.
Sarah rolled her eyes from across the room. We'd both hit our limit with Brian's non-stop judgment of everyone's choices. I complained to HR and they said he was just passionate
Oh my-
about wellness.
Dog, why is he so wrinkly, bro? Like, out in the sun too long.
And that they'd talk to him, and that was that. The breaking point came during a late-night shift. It was just the three of us, scrambling to finish an urgent project. Brian was shooting down every idea Sarah and I pitched. Your thinking is clouded, he kept saying. Green tea opens the mind. Coffee shuts it down. No wonder yours is so backed up. When he finally disappeared to the bathroom around 10 p.m., Sarah looked at me, exasperated.
Oh, I can't do another 4 hours of this, Dan.
She groaned. That's when my eyes fell on the sacred stash of matcha tins, all lined up like smug little soldiers on his desk, and an idea popped up. You thinking what I'm thinking, Sarah? With a wicked grin, she replied.
Let's teach the matcha prophet a lesson.
No.
We gathered every tin of his precious powder and carried them to the office bathroom. Sarah giggled excitingly as I opened the first container and dumped the bright green dust into the toilet.
So satisfying.
You're tripping.
Sarah tittered as we flushed away months of his expensive collection,
Wow.
watching the toilet water turn an unnatural shade of green. By the time we finished, we'd destroyed at least $300 worth of his supply. There, maybe now he'll shut up about the matcha god's superiority, I said, as we settled into our desks. 20 minutes later, Brian returned from his break and went straight to his matcha station. I watched from my computer as he reached for his first tin and frowned. He went on to open the second, the third, and the fourth. For a couple of seconds, he just stared at those empty tins like they were proof the
Oh, he pissed.
universe had turned on him. "Where is it?" he hissed through clenched teeth.
That's a crazy neck turn.
Sarah and I kept working, ignoring him entirely. "Where is my matcha?" Brian repeated, gritting his teeth so hard
He's so
I really thought he'd break
ugly,
a molar
bro.
or two.
Maybe you ran out?
Sarah stuttered. "When I just received 8 imported ceremonial grade this morning?" His hands were legit shaking as he stormed over to my desk. "What did you do with my matcha?" "Dude, why'd you ask me? Why would I even touch your stupid tea stuff?" "Because you're jealous," he sneered. "Because you know you'll never have the same clarity, purpose, or enlightenment with your coffee." "Brian, it's just tea." I nervously chuckled. "Calm down, okay? We'll get you more."
Bro. Him saying this with that smug look is hilarious.
I nervously chuckled. "Calm down, okay? We'll get you more." "Just tea?" I nearly jumped as he grabbed my ceramic mug and hurled it against the floor.
Dang.
"Matcha is life. Matcha is consciousness.
Okay.
Without it, there's only darkness and confusion."
Alright.
Sarah stood up, backing toward the door.
Brian, chill, please.
"You did this," he accused. "You ruined
Oh my-
everything.
Oh, is his neck extend? Like,
Please.
You did this,"
oh my
he
gosh.
accused. "You ruined everything. Months of
Real life giraffe.
cleansing. Now I'll show you what happens when you interfere with enlightenment." Before we could blink, Brian picked up a chair and hurled it at the window. The glass exploded inward, sending sharp fragments across the office floor. The alarm system started blaring. "Brian, stop!" I shouted. It was a bit late. Brian had already lunged at me with a piece of broken glass in his hand, his eyes wide and completely unfocused. Sarah screamed as I
Bro, dude biting his lip, bro. He focus.
hand, his eyes wide and completely unfocused. Sarah screamed as I dodged, sending Brian crashing into his desk. His computer monitor crumpled into pieces. "You poisoned my temple!" he screamed, picking up another glass shard. "You destroyed my connection to the green wisdom!"
The
Before
green
we could reach
wisdom?
the door, Brian turned to me and aimed for my arm.
Ooh.
The glass sliced my skin, resulting in bleeding quite immediately. As I stood grabbing my arm in pain, he kneeled down and started praying. "I'm sorry, my lord. Forgive this sinner by accepting his blood sacrifice
Oh no, this dude is tripping, bro. Out of his mind.
as an offering." He kept praying as he rocked back and forth. We ran to
I don't know who he praying to.
the conference room and slammed the door, pushing chairs against it as a barricade. Through the glass walls, we could see Brian running around the office, slapping himself, uprooting his own hair like he had totally lost all sense of reasoning. He found another chair and started smashing it against the conference room window, trying to break through to us. "The god is offended! He wants offerings! I must sacrifice both of you! I have to!" We had to call the cops.
Jeez.
It took 3 officers to restrain Brian as he fought them, still ranting about tea ceremonies and mind purification, still bleeding from all the cuts on his arms and hands. Officer Thompson took our statements. We admitted to dumping the matcha, expecting maybe a lecture about workplace pranks. "You had no idea what you were dealing with," he said instead. "It's a severe mental illness that you triggered. You could have died." They found Brian's apartment filled with thousands of dollars of matcha supplies,
Oh my gosh.
detailed journals about tea enlightenment, and evidence that he'd been consuming dangerous amounts of caffeine through excessive matcha consumption for months. The powder was the only thing keeping his psychosis stable, Thompson explained. When you removed it, you removed his anchor to reality. Brian spent 6 weeks in a psychiatric hold. The company paid for counseling for Sarah and me, but I couldn't shake the image of him screaming about human sacrifice.
Jeez, bro. Story 3.
I should have noticed the red flags when she refused to let me sign that roommate agreement in anything but green ink. Even so, I was desperate for a place near campus, and Vera seemed normal enough during our brief coffee shop meeting. The apartment was
Ugh.
exactly what I was looking for. Shop meeting.
Look like a zombie.
The apartment was exactly what I was looking for. In a week, I moved in. The first morning, I woke up to this weird, rhythmic sound coming from the kitchen. Whisk, whisk, whisk. I stumbled out in my pajamas, expecting to find her making pancakes or something. Instead, Vera stood at the counter in complete silence, whisking green powder in a ceramic bowl with surgical precision. I watched her count under her breath.
78, 79, 80.
Before she lifted the bowl with both hands, bowed her head like she was praying, and took one tiny sip.
Morning ritual.
She giggled when she noticed me staring.
Matcha helps me wake up.
I laughed it off and went back to my room to continue my revisions. By 9, things got stranger. I stepped out of my room to find my coffee maker unplugged and shoved into the back of a cabinet.
Bruh.
Oh, that thing?
Vera said when I asked.
I moved it. The smell was interfering with my matcha practice. Interfering? How?
She paused, holding her matcha whisk like it was sacred.
Coffee creates chaos in the mind. Matcha brings clarity.
Oh my gosh.
I plugged the machine back in and made my usual mid-morning cup. Vera watched me from across the kitchen, her eyes tracking every movement. When I took a sip, she visibly flinched. The next time I took a break and stepped out, she had 2 bowls out.
Bro.
I made extra this time.
She said, extending one toward me. The liquid was this unnatural bright green, almost glowing under the kitchen lights.
You should try it, Danny. Really, try it.
No thank you.
I took a polite sip. It tasted like grass clippings mixed with chalk.
Thanks, but I'd stick to coffee.
Her smile flickered.
Coffee is poison. It makes you jittery. Matcha would heal you. I like being jittery.
I replied,
Yeah, definitely some slimy residue or something.
trying to keep it light. By the time afternoon fell, all my coffee and coffee maker had disappeared. When I confronted her, Vera had the audacity to claim she'd never seen it.
Maybe you put it with those trash boxes?
She suggested, with that same sweet smile.
Memory can be unreliable when you're slowly poisoning yourself with caffeine.
I didn't want to go looking for rentals all over again. I figured I'd just avoid her and ordered a new machine instead. It arrived a couple of hours later, only to be smashed to pieces before I could even get my hands on it. I was in
No, you got to pay for that, bro. You breaking my machines?
my room when I'd heard the crash. When I stepped out, Vera was neatly arranging the pieces in a circle on the kitchen table.
Vera!
I hissed, somewhat pissed.
Sit.
She said,
No.
patting the chair across from her.
We need to talk.
I need some money for that.
I spared one annoying glance at the broken coffee maker and settled in.
Your obsession with coffee is unhealthy, Danny. You've no idea what you're missing on.
She reached across the table and grabbed my wrist. Her fingers were ice cold.
I'm trying to help you see clearly. To see the world through green.
I yanked my hand away.
You're insane. I'm moving out and I'll sue you.
That's when her mask totally slipped. Vera was furious and looked like a child whose favorite toy had been taken away.
You can't leave.
She whispered.
Not when my matcha fairy has accepted you.
Matcha
I stood to
fairy.
go to my room, but she was faster. She grabbed my dangly earring and yanked
Ooh.
hard. The metal tore through my earlobe, and I felt warm blood trickling down my neck.
Vera, what the?
Gotta swing on it.
Slammed me against the wall so hard, my vision blurred.
Oh no, we gotta fight. We gotta fight, bro. God.
Vera, what the?
She slammed me against the wall so hard, my vision blurred.
You will drink the matcha. You will see what I see.
Nah.
You will understand what I understand.
She hissed, her face inches from mine.
Leave.
Yo,
Understand.
She
why her face look like this? Bro, you gotta swing back.
hissed, her face inches from mine.
Leave me. Help! Somebody help me!
Man,
She
fight.
dragged me toward the stove, where a pot of green tea
Oh.
was simmering. The liquid was thicker than before, with an oily film on the surface.
Ugh.
This is a special batch.
She said, ladling it into a bowl.
It'll help you transition.
The tea was scalding
Man,
hot. I
defend
could see
yourself.
steam rising from it as she carried it toward me, but I ducked away at the last second, and the entire bowl of liquid splashed across my left arm. The pain was immediate and excruciating, like someone had pressed a hot iron against my skin. I screamed, clutching my burned arm, and that seemed to snap something else inside her. She walked calmly to the knife block and pulled out the butcher blade. It was a 10-inch chef's knife with a wicked curved edge.
If you won't drink it willingly,
She said, testing the knife's sharpness against her thumb.
maybe I need to help you understand differently. No, please, Vera, please!
She couldn't hear me. She raised the blade above her head and lunged forward, but in her rage, she'd forgotten about the puddle of spilled matcha
Chief Keef.
beneath her feet. Her sneakers hit the slick tile and went out from under her. She fell backward, and her head struck the kitchen floor with enough force to crack the tile. The knife skittered across the floor and came to rest under the refrigerator. Vera didn't move. For maybe 30 seconds, I just stood there, bleeding and burned, staring at her motionless body.
King Von is crazy.
A thin line of blood was pooling beneath her head, mixing with the spilled green tea to create this sick brownish color. I remember calling 911 with shaking hands. The paramedics arrived first, then the cops. They loaded Vera onto a stretcher. She was breathing but unconscious, with a massive lump on the back of her skull. One of the EMTs said something about a possible brain bleed. The police charged her with assault when she woke up in the hospital, but I moved out that same day and haven't followed the case except where needed. I don't consume tea or coffee anymore. I just can't without an urge to throw up.
Yikes.